Good afternoon. Today is January 20th, 2022. This is Robert Lucero, candidate for United States Senate here in California from the Republican Party. I wanted to address a few issues today, the first being my party registration and my campaign. When I announced for Senate in 2020, during the election of 2020, I was not sure what party I would actually run in. I was an independent. I've been a Democrat. I've worked in the Democratic Party officially at different times. And in the course of 2021, I began to talk to leadership in the Republican Party here in California. And I decided late last year to change my registration and join the Republican Party with everything I have. I think in California there is a really big opportunity right now for independents and Democrats to join the Republican Party to build a new Republican Party that can actually speak to the crises we're facing today, the challenges we're dealing with in terms of public safety, this new form of extreme violent crime that is rising, the economic situation that we have, including the hyperinflation situation, which has been exaggerated recently but did not start with this current administration. It's been going on for a long time. We have a profound debt crisis, including the student debt crisis, and I do want to talk about that, including canceling student loans and going after the derivatives market that depends on that big bubble. So we got to talk about these things. But I wanted to address just a couple of quick things on my campaign and ask for your support. March 31st will be my 49th birthday. I am 9 days younger than Alex Padilla, whose birthday is March 22nd. So we're both Latino, both born that week or that period in March of 1973. March 31st is also the next Federal Elections Commission deadline. So I'm asking for your support on the level of whatever you can do, $5, $10, $25, $100, whatever you can support. We want to raise a lot of donations, including just any level that you can do. The more numbers of contributions, the better, the more our support is there. So after that quick pitch, I want to just say a couple of quick things about why I'm running and something on foreign policy as well. I'm running because I love this country. I'm running because my middle name is George, and ever since I could start studying history, I've been fascinated by George Washington, Alexander Hamilton, the founding fathers, then the crisis that led to Abraham Lincoln's presidency, the crisis of the Great Depression, and the crises that we faced in the 1960s. In my view, we're facing a situation, it's almost like there's a 70-year cycle that we're hitting again now after the 1960s, or after the end of World War II, really. I'll give you a specific example. I'm a strong advocate of a modern form of the Reconstruction Finance Corporation. That's not necessarily a household word, but it should be, because from 1932, the year it was founded, to 1957, so founded during a Republican administration and ended during the building of the interstate highway system, the Reconstruction Finance Corporation was the financial institution that funded all of the great infrastructure projects that we take pride in, from the Hoover Dam, which was originally the Boulder Dam in 1932, to the Bay Bridge, which was also another Reconstruction Finance Corporation project started before Franklin Roosevelt was elected, to the interstate highway system. As I said, this corporation was responsible for the internal development of the United States. And guess who studied that? China. China came to study the Tennessee Valley Authority in the post-war period, and has since built Three Gorges Dam and other infrastructure projects in China that are really at the core of the modernization of China. So China. Then Russia. I want to share a thought my wife had shared with me about education. She said, behavior is communication. Russia's behavior is communication. They don't appreciate NATO on the border of their country. Would we like Russian troops in Canada? Would we like Russian troops on the border of Texas? We're, through NATO, causing a lot of this problem, and through the so-called color revolutions funded by George Soros, the same man who's funding the radical DAs in California and New York right now, who are against any effective action on this new form of crime that's developing. We have to end this kind of Jacobin terror that Soros and others are involved in. We have to redefine the partnership between the government and business, which is what was the Reconstruction Finance Corporation back in 1932 into the 50s. I bring that up today because my friends and I got a bill introduced into Congress twice now in the last couple of sessions called the National Infrastructure Bank Act, which calls for $5 trillion of repurposed debt. Take part of our national debt and turn it into something productive instead of just another burden on the taxpayer, and use it to fund infrastructure. This is a level 3 times larger than this Build Back Better bill that is a failure. And it's actually got a funding mechanism built in that doesn't require a whole new tax bill. So I would also point you to my podcasts that I did with Edward Kleinbard, the New Deal Radio podcast. That was the #1 New Deal podcast. And again, the New Deal had much to do with Republicans as much as Democrats. There were Republicans like Mariner Eccles and Jesse Jones from Texas who were critical in being the actual nuts and bolts of what made this country great in the 1930s in terms of our economic side. There were certainly inequalities which we can deal with again today, but that's up to us and that's up to the voters. So I'm asking for your support. I appreciate you taking the time and watching this video. I got to say, I'm very proud to be working with the leadership in the Republican Party of California today. They are robust, they are young, they are excited. They have this great organization inside the party called the Trailblazers that I'm a part of, very proud to be a part of. And I look forward to working with voters and volunteers out there, students, retirees, everybody. We want to get you involved. And so reach out to my campaign, luceroforcalifornia.com, lucero4ca.com, and let's have great numbers on March 31st of this year. Thank you.